Hi, this is for the Duramax xp10000e generator with propane kit. It's information that I had a hard time obtaining, and the instructions are worthless, so you wouldn't be able to find half the things that you need, or at least not the questions that you need answered. I'm going to try and put in some of the blanks that I ran into while I was figuring this out. The way this is set up is you have two regulators. One controls the propane that goes into the engine. The other one controls the propane that's coming out, which is the high pressure regulator off the tank. Let's start with this. This is the propane adapter they give you. Comes in the kit. I have the hookup is here. There's an actual elbow that goes here. Line runs, goes to this one. This is your idle control for propane. This is your actual propane regulator. This is the button for your primer. You actually hit this, you push this twice, like tss, tss, and I'll show you later. And it gets your generator juice so you can actually start it. And then once it starts, the vacuum that's created will actually feed it by itself. All right, now let's get back to this. They told me, I asked over and over, every time I called them asking questions about this kit before I bought it, they told me there's no frame modifications required. Wrong. That was an outright lie. I put this kit on, and no matter what I did, I could not get this filter back on. I can get this metal base plate on, but I couldn't get the plastic insert in here and the metal cover that protects everything. So, what we did is we cut the frame here at the top, and we cut it. Let me see if I can get an angle on it. You can see right here behind the wheel, we cut it just in front of where the axle house is. And we took it out, we made these 2.5-inch pieces, and we put one on top, one on the bottom, and pushed this out to give me more room than I really needed. In actuality, all you really need to do is move this out an inch. You actually need to move it out 1 inch. You actually need to create a 2-inch piece instead of 2.5. We made it real long, but you could put a 2-inch piece in here, and that would have done fine. We didn't have to go this far, that extreme. If these adapters could be made skinnier, it probably would have helped. Like a 1/2 inch would have gotten it to fit, I believe. It would have been tight, but you'd been able to get the filter back on. But in any case, it didn't work for us. So what we did is, the way this is installed is, besides the modification of the frame, I put an angle iron down here on the bottom. I'm going to try and straighten my phone out. As you can see, we welded it onto the frame. This piece, the angle iron, you can drill through it, so you can drill a hole through the frame and the angle iron, and just bolt it on. We did that because the shutoff valve sticks out too far, and we were actually hitting the engine, so we couldn't. When it was open like it is now, we couldn't close it. There was no way of closing it, and that needs to be closed if you go to run gas. If you don't close it, you wind up with a vacuum problem, and the gas is not going to flow properly, so the engine never runs right. It keeps stalling on you. So we moved it out just 1 inch with the angle iron here at the bottom. Let me get around here. It's hard to angle around this. With that, we extended it 1 inch exactly, and we got clearance, so we're all good to go. As you can see, the valve opens all the way, closes, nothing's in the way. Now let me close this so I can show this. All these parts came with my kit from here to here. This elbow, I actually bought at an RV supply center. I never thought of it. They had loads of fittings, different sizes, hose, they had everything. I didn't even think about them. Now I wish I'd remembered. This gray hose I got here, let me see if I can get down here. Yeah, this gray hose, I bought a 12-foot hose so I'd be able to run my tanks farther away from the generator because I don't want everything together. And I paid $130 for that hose. I found it later on at Lowe's Home Improvement for I think it was $60 to $70. I think I got ripped off, but hey, who knows? One of the things you got to be careful of also is when you put this on, there is a throttle control inside here. So when you pull out this choke, it actually closes off and chokes the carburetor for gas running. Well, that actually hits the propane adapter right here on the top. Short of trying to cut this adapter, which I really didn't feel comfortable doing, we tried it out, we tested it. It'll still work. There is no problem with it. It pushes up against it, but the throttle, the butterfly, still closes. So it still works the way it's supposed to. I just don't like it because it was hitting it actually, but it's not going to bother it. And if you run gas, the choke will only be put on for a little while when the engine starts, and then you're going to close it anyway. So I didn't find a big deal in it, so I left it alone. Didn't bother, worrying about it. Let me see. What else do I got to tell you? Well, out of the regulator, this is little bits of information that I had a hard time getting from people. Here's the valve assembly. Let me pull this over here. Oh, damn, that was loud. I put a barbecue fitting that you can buy at any of the stores. Attach it to my regulator here. This is a high pressure regulator that came with it. Always make sure the vent, that piece is face down. If it's face up and it gets clogged, this regulator is no longer any good. You'll have to go out and buy another one. I also put a quick connect on here. Now, my problem was I couldn't find out what the pressure was coming out of this regulator. I couldn't get an answer from anybody, even the people I bought the kit from. So the hose I bought says 1/2 inch PSI on it, this gray hose, and it was scaring me because I thought the pressure coming out was 6 to 10 pounds. That's what I read on the internet. Winds up, once it comes out of this regulator, it comes down to 1/2 inch PSI. So this all works because the regulator is not rated for anything higher than 1/2 PSI. There it is, 1/2 PSI written right on it. I know you can't see it, but anyway, that's what scared me about this kit. And I'm like, I don't know if this is going to run right. It might have problems. There's a whole bunch of things I was worried about. It winds up, I didn't have any issues. They just didn't provide enough information. I'm trying to give you what I can. The instructions I got were like pictures from another generator with no explanations, no descriptions. They were horrible. It was like somebody just kept Xeroxing the same page over and over, and it got worse as it went along. So this is a lot of trial and error for whoever's putting these together themselves. I put my regulator, the regulator with the primer out this way. Here's my primer button. I kept it on that frame so it's still behind that wheel to try and protect it more. But everything else is inside only because if it would be sticking out here. And then I'd have to worry about people walking by and hitting it, or if somebody's rolling this and they roll by something too close, I'm afraid they're going to like rip things apart on it, and I'm going to have to buy this again, maybe new connectors. This is my way of keeping my stuff protected. Plus my cover goes over the entire unit now, and everything's still inside. So during the winter, the snow and everything isn't going to bother it. One thing I'm going to do, which I haven't yet, is back here on the frame, I want to put, actually I want to put it here. Let me back out a little. I'm going to put here a hook that comes down so I can hang my hose that I paid too much for, apparently. I'm going to hang that on the back of the generator. So again, everything's still within the frames, and I can put my cover over it, and everything's protected, and it's where I need it to be. Now, I'll try and start this up, and I'll show you how it works. We open up the valve, which is, I can get here to it, even if the muffler's hot, I can still get in here and turn it on, no problem. Open up the valve. Now, right now, the pressure's coming into here. This is it can go up to 200 pounds. So it goes into the high pressure regulator, comes out 1/2 inch pressure. Comes all the way around, comes into, where is it? I'm sorry. Let me get down here. Into that connector, through the valve, into the regulator. Now when you hit this, you only need to do it twice. Not really fast, not quick. Just go 1, 2. Puts propane into the system. Then you just start it up. Now on this model generator, the Duramax 10,000, it has a self-idle. It has an idle control on it. So once it warms up, it revs first to get everything running. Then it'll idle down. Once it warms up, it smooths out really nice. We hooked up appliances and stuff to force high idle. and it ran a lot nicer. It's quieter than the gas was, and just steady. Once it's all set, it's steady as can be. The only thing that you really have to adjust on this once you get it all together. Well, let me turn this off. I don't want to keep yelling at my phone. Once you get this all together, there's a screw on top of here. This right here. This is your idle adjust. Well, kind of idle adjust. It's for the propane flow. I had it wide open, and I wound up with this thing hopping and dancing all over because it just wasn't holding. So I started tightening it down. The more I tightened it, the steadier the motor started getting, until I hit a point where it almost started dying on me again. So I got that midpoint, then tightened off the bottom nut, and that's it. I left it. It works really good. I'm happy with the kit. I already bought a 100-pound cylinder. I'm going to be buying another 1 or 2 100-pound cylinders, and I'm going to be set for the next power outage because Sandy killed us. I was out power for 13 days, and I don't want to go through that again. I want to make sure I got power supplied to my house. But this works good, and except for the frame problem, you know, that almost killed me because I couldn't finish the kit without modifying that frame. But the rest of this came together just nice. I mean, it worked the way I liked it. Like I said, I used pieces from other videos to figure out how these go together, how they're positioned, and how other people did it. And I hope what I gave you helps you out, because I had nothing. I mean, I'm giving you information that I didn't have before. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll let you know whatever I can. If you need help. I hope you do good. Good luck on your propane tank and our propane kit, and it is definitely going to be worth it. No more paying high gas prices. Propane's cheaper. I pay $60 to fill a 100-pound tank. That should last me, from what we figured out, about 2.5 to 3 days. So, see what you can do. Have fun.